So welcome to my garden. Just thought I'd give you a quick tour so that you can see what I've been preparing ready for this year's growing season. So this is my greenhouse that I have got ready for this year's growing season. My husband has kindly made me a potting bench so that I've got a little bit more space. I've got room for storage, I've got all my compost in here. This is going to be my tomato beds on this side, and all I've done with this is dig out the soil that was there and put a new layer of compost and manure on it just to let it be ready for the new plants that are going to go in when they're ready. Yeah, so that's done there, ready. On this side, at the end here, I've got just some drawers just to keep my bits and bobs in, little tools and things like that. I'm collecting toilet rolls and I've just got somewhere nice to keep them. So on this side is where I had my where I started my sowing that I had up in the bedroom, which I've now moved into the greenhouse. So I've got some plants in here, sweet peas and marigolds, which are coming along nicely. In this one, I was worried that the shallots weren't going to actually grow, but they are starting to just poke through now. So I've got shallots and broad beans, and these are some bedding plants in here. These are the moss rose, which are going to go into my flower beds. In this one I've got peppers. One of them has started to come through now. They have taken a bit longer than the tomatoes, and one of them still hasn't started to poke through yet, but I'm hoping that that will come through. And then I've got some tomatoes here. I think they've gone a bit sort of leggy, but I'm sure they'll get a bit stronger. And then these are the spaghetti squash. These are all tomatoes in here. And in this one I've got some nasturtiums, which again have like bolted a little bit, but I'm sure they'll be fine. If not, I can always grow some more. And I've got some radishes and carrots in here, and then I've got my thyme, basil and celery in here. Now these egg boxes here I was using for chickpeas that I've done from dried seeds. So I bought a bag from the supermarket. I sprouted them by soaking them in some water overnight and then laying them onto a damp paper towel in an ice cream tub. But what I have done is I have transplanted them now into this bigger tub, and I've put the tub into a bowl of water. So I've watered it from the top, but I'm letting the water sort of I'm letting the soil draw up what it needs from this tub here, and hopefully that will mean that the soil will be nice and damp, so these chickpeas will grow even more. But I'm really pleased with how these have grown. I've never had a fresh chickpea, so I'm really looking forward to them hopefully becoming nice healthy little chickpea pods. So this is the greenhouse. It's ready to go. I'm quite excited. I just want everything to now start growing, and next week I'm going to be doing my second lot of growing seeds ready to go in my beds. So if we go outside now, I'll show you what I'm going to do out here. Okay, so I've got some raised beds here. We put these beds in last year, and I've done the soil in here. I've added some more compost and some manure just to make sure that the soil is nice and rich for this year's growing. Now in this bed I have actually planted some onions and some garlic already, and I've put some carrot seeds in, but they're not coming through yet, so I'm not expecting them to be coming through yet. But if you have a little look down here, the onions are starting to sprout away nicely. Nothing with the garlic yet, but hopefully that will come in the next couple of weeks. This bed I'm going to cover in straw, and I'm going to plant my strawberry plants. So last year I had some strawberries, and I've kept the extra plants that they sort of go on runners and you get another little plant. So I've got 3 pots of these that I can pot up in here with strawberries in it. And then this bed I can use for things like leeks and more carrots and radishes and lettuces and things like that. Round the outside I've also got lots and lots of pots which I'm going to be using to grow some tomatoes outside as well as inside the greenhouse. And all my other seeds that I'm doing, I've got enough pots to put them around the garden so that I've got plenty of stuff growing at different times. So I'm staggering it, so I've got things going. When one thing is finished, I've got some more growing. And then just behind us here, we have got around the compost heap. Now this, we've only just built this and we're gradually filling it up, so I'm not expecting this to be ready for this year, but next year it means we won't have to buy compost. We can use the stuff that we're making this year on all of our beds around the garden. So I'm very pleased with this. Okay, so finally I've got my herb bed. This is just outside the back door, so it's nice and easy for me to come out and just clip my herbs. I've got some pots going along the side fence here as well. So this is where I'm going to be growing things like peas, beans, courgettes and squashes, so that I can keep my eye on them, make sure that they're not falling over. And I'm going to put some trellis up so that I can grow them upright this year. I've kept my mince separately in a tub because it just sends out runners and it grows everywhere, it comes up everywhere if you don't keep it in a pot. But in here I've got some chives, some oregano, some curry plant, which smells really amazing. I've got thyme, rosemary, sage and parsley. Parsley is from last year, but everything else I've put in fresh this year because a lot of my herbs have gone really woody, so I thought I'm just going to start again. But again, I've put lots of organic matter in the soil, so hopefully they'll grow nicely this year. And the pots will move, it's just stopping the dog from getting in the hedge. So that is my herb garden. I've also, if you look, I've left a space here, so I'm going to have rocket and lettuce, cut and come again lettuce, that I can just come out and snip off and it'll just keep coming. So that's going to go in that space there. So I hope you've enjoyed that little look around my garden, and I'm really looking forward to showing you how it progresses throughout the year, and then making some delicious food with the crops that I grow. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel and I shall see you on the next one.